All right. I have an interesting question from Josh. His question is this. I was just wanting to know your thoughts on two questions. One, do you think that spiritual gifts ceased after the apostles died, or did they still go on today? Do you believe demons also stopped when Christ died? Two, do you believe that you have to be baptized to be saved? Two questions, two interesting questions. Well, let's look at this. I'm going to handle each very briefly and to the point. We definitely could talk a lot longer if anyone else would like to explore any of these. Number one, do you think spiritual gifts ceased after the apostles died, or do they still go on today, and do you believe demons stopped after Christ died? Excuse me. I believe that any kind of gift that had anything to do with direct revelation ceased. Because once the Bible completed, not after Christ died, but once the Bible was completed, there was no longer any more need for direct revelation. 1 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 8 says this, charity, or agape love, never faileth. Whether there be prophecies, they shall fail. There be tongues, they shall cease. There be knowledge, it shall vanish away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away. Demons didn't go anywhere. We still have the power over them through the blood of Jesus. And they overcame them by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. They loved not their lives unto the death. So, because there's going to be prophecies that will fail or stop when that which is perfect has come, believe that once the Bible was completed, there is no longer any need for direct revelation. In fact, at the end of the book of Revelation, it tells us that that if anybody adds any prophecy, any words to the prophecy, that the condemnation will be added to them. So no, the Bible is completed. We don't need to say, well, God says this, because everything that God needs us to know is in the Bible. It is completed, it is perfect, it is whole. That which is perfect has come, therefore that which is in part, direct revelation, is done away. Now, what about baptism? Do you have to be baptized in order to be saved? No. If there were any work, rite, or ritual that we could do in order to merit salvation, then Jesus died for nothing. Galatians chapter 2 and verse 21. I do not frustrate the grace of God, for if righteousness come by the law, then Christ is dead in vain. Paul was clear. Baptism is not a part of salvation. For Christ sent me not to baptize, but to preach the gospel, not with wisdom of words, lest the cross of Christ should be made of none effect. So you know what? Preaching the gospel and baptism were two different things. So no, baptism is not a requirement of salvation. It is a result once you get born again, once you get saved by grace through faith.